2, 1. What's up, mi gente? Let's get right into it this week. As you can see, on this week, I have no notes. I have one piece of paper, nothing written on it. It doesn't matter. We are in March of 2020. After this weekend and what happened last week, I'm at the point where it's a little worrisome. I know this is a hot topic. It is probably the most talked about topic right now. It went from, I actually made a joke about it back in January when I was at one of my friend's birthdays, talking about, looking at memes and hearing about what was happening in China, how this so-called coronavirus, the memes about the beer. I had a good laugh about it. Now that it is here in the United States, when the president talks, like a national speech, he made 2 last week. And here where I live, which is a big city as Chicago, everyone is basically under protocol. So this week I said, you know what? I'm going to still make my episode. Am I quarantining myself from everybody? In a way, but the one meme that I have seen out there, which is, schools are closing, like public transportation's closing, or everything else is closing, but my job, you still got to work. And for me, that's a meme that is a reality because it's Monday and I haven't heard nothing about it being closed. So thankfully I don't work on Mondays, but if we were open today, I'm pretty sure I gotta go to work tomorrow. So I don't know how I feel about this. I just want to make this video to give my 2 cents and kind of capture the moment and the state of where everything is and through my point of view. And like I said in the beginning, it is worrisome because the governor over the weekend made it a law that, not even a law, just put a statement that all restaurants, like bars and all that, they're closed for the next 2 weeks. We're literally, I don't know if this is going around, because here's the thing, I'm not one to watch news, so I really don't want to see myself. And I personally know people who, they read this or they see things and they're like, oh my, it gives people anxiety. I see people at work all day spraying Lysol, cleaning off their desk. Now thankfully everybody washes their hands, but not even that, putting hand sanitizer on. And I'm just this is what they said, it's an epidemic. And I even saw there was a video going around where I believe it was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, Bill Gates had a conversation about this happening, and I saw his documentary not long ago, and then come to find out he steps down from the board of Microsoft, and it's okay, so now everyone's somewhat stuck inside being home. And I knew there was an issue today when I was driving in the morning, and I looked and I took a peek at the expressway, and when I saw the 94 is empty as it was this morning, that's where it kind of hit me, where I'm okay, this is something. I don't know where it's going. And my girlfriend and I, we just started watching the Netflix original, I guess, series, Messiah, last night, and we're halfway done. And it's it's just crazy. I'm kind of lost for words. I literally just wanted to sit back and kind of express my feelings, and hoping that by the end of this video I kind of feel better just from these talking points that I'm making literally as I go, because once again, I don't have a script for this week's episode. There's no idea. There's just me stating of what I know is going on. I know I shouldn't be worried. I'm more worried about the older people, my parents. They're at that age of that 65 mark, which I'm just okay, I made sure I called them. I was please stay inside, don't do this, if you need anything, let my sister and I know, we'll take care of it, And I called today to try to make an appointment at my doctor, and they're oh yeah, for the next, my doctor's office was oh yeah, we're not actually really taking patients within the next couple of weeks. I'm like, wait, my doctor's office is closed. And I was like, no, I'm just trying to reschedule for the summer. She was like, okay, good, when all this goes by. Which is, on the brighter note, something that we do have to look forward to. And that's the simple fact that everything will be okay. Hopefully, like, God willing, like, this disease or this virus, this corona thing, like, boils over, you know, like, it's 2020 and it's been like, as an example, right? Kobe Bryant. We all know the story. I was in the middle of looking for apartments when it happened. And I remember the first person I called was like my dad. And I was like, Dad, did you hear the news? And he's like, yeah, it's on TV right now. I'm like, man, like, what a way to start 2020. And like, yeah, I get it's one human being, like, we're all a human being, doesn't, but as a kid growing up, you know, witnessing and wanting to be like Kobe and, you know, shooting like Kobe and stealing his tricks, where he developed his game from like Michael Jordan, who is like a walking god in Chicago. Like, you know, there's correlations, there's connections that, you know, from everything. Like, that's how the year started. It's only March. We're going through this epidemic. They're literally shutting down schools. Like, I'm not in school, but my girlfriend, her university literally just sent her an email like an hour ago saying, hey, like, don't show up. Like, no more face-to-face. People at this point are just rolling with the punches. And I understand that's the only thing we can do. Everyone gets worried because it's like, okay, well, if they're closing restaurants, they're closing all this stuff. Good, but at the same time, like, there's people who have work, and I've seen like the NBA, like, I saw the reaction of Mark Cuban when he was like, and I relate with this so much when he, you know, that he found out the news, like that clip they have of him looking at his phone and being like, wait, what? They just canceled the NBA season? And then they interview him. He's like, this feels like a movie. Honest to God, it does. Like, I feel like this isn't real. Like, and then the weather is shitty. Like, that makes it even worse. It's like, okay, we're in March. It was somewhat snowing this morning. Like, I don't know what is. I don't know. And wouldn't we all love to have an answer of seeing what's going to happen? And I just think the more cases, you know, and then I get it. On the funny side, it's like, oh, people are making jokes like, oh, who do you really know that has corona, or like, you know, this disease, it's like only affecting the older people. But regardless, like, we all know somebody who's older. Like, we have people in our family who are older than us. And this is a serious matter. Like, we got to take a moment. I'm sure the memes are going to be like, 1 week in, you know, learn my family, 2 weeks in, why I really don't like, I don't know, stupid memes that, you know, people are going to make up. The whole city's shutting down for 2 weeks. And sure, oh, let me catch a flight. I went to this house party over the weekend. It was my girlfriend's friend who was hosting her birthday. And we were supposed to go to this one place, and it was downtown. And I was like, oh, it's kind of iffy. And we didn't end up going, so we had like this house party. And they had just moved into this place. And like, I'm surprised that no neighbors or no cops showed up, because it was like 2:30 in the morning. And we're just ringing the thing. And there was one person at this party who started coughing. And I kid you not, it was like automatic. Can we kick this person like out of here? That's the joke. Like, you hear somebody cough or something at work, it's like, oh, I have a cold. Like, no, you shouldn't be at work if you have a cold, especially during this time. Like, just stay home. I feel that, okay, I don't want to go like all conspiracy theory. Also, over the weekend, I got a text message from one of the Colombians, and he's like, he had a wedding at the end of this month, and because the whole stop travel happened, that some of his family was coming from Europe, they like shut that down and they canceled his tickets. He had to literally cancel. And I'm thinking, I'm like, I wonder, did the banquet like put a halt to it and say, you know, we'll just reschedule for another day? Like, like, I'm 26 years old, and I've lived through like, you know, horrible winters living here in Chicago. You know, you get excited, especially when you're a kid. Oh, you know, they closed school. Like, yo, they're shutting down schools for 2 weeks. We just finished CPS, Chicago Public Schools strike. Like, I want to say towards the beginning of the school year, which was like September. And that went on. And then now this is going on. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, seriously, what is going on? And I don't have the answers. And when I see these and then last Friday, I had a concert to go to. And the artist performed on Thursday, and he was in Detroit. And I'm like, okay, he's going to make it on Friday. We're going to be able to see the show. And then after that, we're going to, just basically not go anywhere. And no, not even that. Like, toilet paper is gone everywhere. Everybody's taking pictures. Like, are you serious? We went grocery shopping this weekend, and I was upset because I wanted some bread. I just wanted to make some PB&J, and I couldn't even do that because there was no bread. I'm like, okay, people are taking the precaution, and it's like everyone's gearing up. Like, we had our first company over yesterday at this new place, our friends. They left here to go stock up for the next 2 weeks because everyone's like on a standby, and it's craziness right now. What a way to start off the decade. 2020, who knew? I was watching a video and they talked about like how like the Great Depression with the whole stock market, because I know the stock market was even going bad. But I know that every time there's a crisis, there's people making money. So either companies like that make toilet paper, or I don't know. I've seen so many documentaries and so many random facts are coming to mind right now, but I just want to come to an end with this video because I thought it was gonna make me feel better, just speak my mind, but it hasn't. It just makes me think more. I think I have to distract myself with some entertainment. So when I finish up here, I'm just gonna watch TV and try to get my mind off of it. Don't look at any news. Don't look at any trending page, because all the trending page is doing right now on YouTube is like the corona stuff. With this video, I just wanted to bookmark this epidemic that's going on. I do want to have faith and say everything will be okay, but only time will tell, and we'll see in the near future. Let's see what happens. So with all that being said, I'll see you next week.